Alright, YouTube. Following up right after the last one, because we actually covered probably a bit more than we needed to in that last video. We're gonna go and talk about White Shadow Castle. It has just had its entry limit changed, similar to Foggy Prison not long ago. We've now got 3 weekly entries, so if you are one of those people that likes to do battle support each day, I guess we'll have to, make sure you knock out both of them on the same day, right? And then also your Boiling Waterfall is still 1 out of 1. Now I assume when Black Marsh drops, this Naraka is also going to turn into a weekly entry, just, with Seal Out and raids and stuff, like, oh so much time in a day, right? So I guess we'll have to see how it goes. Weekly reset's going to be pretty rough when you're trying to do, like 9 entries not, I guess maybe not too rough really, but still, 9 per day or whatever before you can do your supports and supports each day. But anyways, what I'm gonna be running here, for me myself, my power is a lot further along than when I first entered, but I'm gonna cover that kind of stuff. All right. Now, I am running Bastet, Karambit, and Helia. Let's have a quick peek at their gear. And I'll show you guys what else I was running beforehand, right? So, obviously, Bastet is still on these weird, the weird foresight, I don't know why I'm saying foresight runes. 85% evasion. Get there, buddy? Cool. I can see you dribbling. But, she's still in these weird DPS kind of foresight runes. I haven't had a chance to swap them out yet. They need swapping. Karambit is, of course, still on the same old 75 crit rate, 185 crit damage, Blade Rage. A lot of room for improvement for him. And Helia is rocking some Rage Blade as well. You see they're mostly heroics, and she's much squishier. She is only Awaken, got up to Awaken 11, did I? Alright, cool. I thought she was Awaken 5, but Awaken 11 is nice. And yeah, as you can see, it's just, is what it is, right? Now, alternatively, if generally Helia will die, so if Helia dies, I'll try to swap to like a Navel or Chloe, or I'll bring a Navel or Chloe to begin with. I won't bring Helia and somebody else, so like you'll have like a Wind Orbia who basically does what Helia does. So if you're a Wind Orbia, you're set, right? As far as like team composition goes. Chloe, obviously I was using her for my expedition with the dock, just because she was the one I could build. Now, we are going to cover other units. What I want to do is try and get into the raid first, I think. Actually, no, let's cover the units first before you even get in, right? Before you even get in there, let's just cover the units right now. So, alternatives, right? Now, Chloe, not ideal for the castle, but still decent, right? Because what happens in the castle is that there's like a debuff. Let's have a quick peek if we can spot it here. So when the arm drops, right, bombing right arm, left arm, not that one, ground strike. So it's the ground strikes, when you're in there, the recovery received down is the thing to watch out for, right? Well, not exactly. So the damage from the arms themselves sometimes kind of tickles, and sometimes it just, for some reason, wipes your monster, right? But more importantly, the recovery received down can be kind of dangerous. So ideally, instead of a unit like Chloe, you would want a like a Lulu, right? The Water Howl cleanses the debuff off and then heals you. The I think Shushu, the Light Howl, does it too. Obviously, a Navel also cleanses when she heals. Or once again, Wusa, who has immunity, heal, continuous damage, right? So now, ideally, you don't want to have to bring heals, because Metis is a DPS check of sorts, right? You can completely ignore these ground strikes, left and right arms, simply by doing enough DPS on the boss right from the get-go, he won't drop an arm at all, right? So just something to be aware of. Let's see, what else should be worried about? We don't really need to be worried about too much, because most of these abilities aren't going to affect you too much. Now, the little circles on the ground, right, so I think it's this one. Creates a zone in the summoner that continuously deals fixed damage based on target's HP. I think it's this one, the basic... Is it this one? Basic attack? No. I think this one is the little circles. Light of Death. That's the laser. Soul Rampage. And I'll show you when we get into it, right? I think it is this one. But if target has silence or blind, stun for 3 seconds. But you can kind of tank through the circles, but obviously if you're like Keener and Orbia, ideally you would not stand in them, right? Whereas as Cleef, you can get away with standing right up next to him, taking it. Now alternative monsters, right? I have seen units like Konomiya, Rakaja perform really well regardless of them being 3 stars. Shannon performs really well as well. So like I'm running Bastet. Shannon is really great too. The defense buff, the attack buff, really nice to see. And then obviously you just need to bring your best DPS, right? Bring if you've got like defense break or brand, bring that. Here's you. Yes, thank you very much. You know, bring like your defense break or brand, plus attack up if you can. But Shannon is more than fine for this, right? You don't need to go in on Bastet and Helia. Shannon can cover your butt. She's more than fine for this raid. Now, obviously, Tion or another reviver, good for healing as well as reviving in case you do lose your DPS, because maybe you're running a pretty squishy assassin, like I am. Sometimes they just die. I do want to build a warrior DPS at some point soon, but yeah, there's a whole, you know, ideally maybe you probably want Argon for your DPS, right? Because he's one of the best DPS in the game for raids and a lot of other places. But once again, come to your book, have a look at what you got as far as like bringing defense buff and attack buff go, as well as defense break and brand if you can, right? So increased harmful effects. So like, you know, you got your crit damage taken up as well as just damage taken up, right? So here are all the units that do that. If you have any of these, you're pretty set. Like, look, there's even a water pixie here. She does it. So yeah, each hit has a certain chance to apply damage taken up. Deals bonus damage if the target's provoked. She also does attack speed downs, which so pretty good for Foggy. You know? So just some options that are available. Like, as she's a mage, right? So she would be like what you'd bring as like a, I guess, I don't know, DPS. Like she'd take Helia's spot. Put it that way. She'd take Helia's spot. But you know, ideally you would want something like Argon or the Wind Cat, because that's, you know, they're just some of the best raid units available in the game. Now let's jump into a White Shadow Castle. Hopefully we get this. I'm just gonna go in balls deep for DPS for this particular one. See how we go. I don't mind too much if other people are lower power, but you do want to be careful with that, because again, this is mostly a DPS check. Now, a lot of this fight is going to be fussing around a bit with follow versus targeting, because I feel like ideally you want your units on follow, because you do want to dodge. So see that big rectangle on the ground? You want to stay out of that, because that is going to put defense break on your units. Okay, see, she was scared of it, so she's yelling about it, right? She's like, oh no, Dad, stay out of that. Now what I'm going to do next is swap the targeting, because the arm's going to come down, and then we're going to target the arm, and all my units are going to run over here and target the arm as well. Hopefully everyone else is on the arm. Yep, we're doing okay so far. And that's going to be the basic back and forth right there. Okay, that's kind of all you really need to worry about for the most part. I'm going to swap back to follow, and what I'm going to do is stand in the middle here. Okay, because now he'll summon, what I like to do personally, see these circles that he's summoning on us? Generally you'd want to stay out of them, which is great. I like to kind of just get them summoned in the middle. If I'm being attacked, right? If I'm the one being attacked, I like to try to... Oh god, she's kind of like off in them a bit. I like to kind of try and summon them off to the middle there, if I can. And then when he... Because sometimes he'll put his rectangles down again. So there it is right there. And when he does that, if the circles are in the middle, you can kind of just dodge to either side of them. And you don't have to worry too much about them, right? Now, I went to the left there thinking that I was going to get defense broken. But, I was thinking he's going to put like another rectangle down. So yeah, you know, you just got to kind of pay attention as to where these things are going down on you or not. So see how now the circles are kind of in our face? Yeah, see, they just took a big defense break because they kind of ran back over, and you know, I was trying to avoid the circle because they're not in the middle, they're off to the side, and I didn't want to just stand in the circle, but now I've got defense break on me as well. So it's kind of, you know, you can't help where other people drop them. So like a lot of things that I've seen of people like, oh, run off to the side and drop them outside the raid and yada yada yada, right? But if you drop them kind of in the middle there, people can still left, right, and just not stand right in the middle where the circles are until they disappear. Because generally they'll disappear by the time an arm goes down, right? However, what you don't want is somebody to put the circles off to the left, the arm goes down, and then your units, yourself, maybe their summoner, are all kind of attacking one of the arms while the circles are kind of like just a little bit to the right or left of the arm, and the AoE of the circle is hitting you while you're attacking the arm, and the arm AoE is also hitting you, right? So it's just like a recipe for like insta-death to it. Well, not insta-death, it's like one of these things that are like slow and painful but happen quick enough that you can't do anything about it because your healers can't keep up, because you have just been essentially heal blocked because of his reduced healing debuff as well, right? Depending on if you run Wooser or not, obviously, like or some other immunity character. So just something to take note of there. That's kind of like how I like to do it, but obviously you can, of course, if I want to take out Helia here and do like a much safer run with a Navel or one of my other healers. Now, I should run this with Chloe just so you guys can see it with Chloe. Let's do it with that. Let's do it that way. Let's do it with Chloe rather than a Navel, because a Navel is like, it's very obvious that I can get the heal out, right? Chloe's got the invincibility, so even though she doesn't have the cleanse heal, she will reduce the damage taken thanks to invincibility. Now my DPS is gonna drop, quite a bit more because we're doing the Chloe, if I don't get kicked for it. I feel like, Black Rising, you know, he's got a lot of DPS, alright? I've seen this guy in action. He shouldn't care too much. We got two Helias. I feel like we shouldn't care too much here, right? Are we gonna start, or do I need to swap out Chloe before I get kicked? Oh, might be watching thingo. Oh no, okay, they're just reorganizing. All right, but like this should be a pretty clean run. Okay, we got a bunch of DPS. We're about to pew pew. I'm actually wondering if I was using a Navel here, we'd have the extra defense break. So a little unfortunate, but well, you know, it's for the sake of the video, just so you guys can see. Hey, listen, we got Chloe working as well here. Now I can just kind of run right in here. Let's get our buffs up. Oh, look here. I wasn't paying attention. Chloe, did you guys see Chloe ran back over into the AoE? What a dick. Alright. So we've got our buff up. Let's see if we do... Nope, so the arm's coming down. I'm going to head on over straight into that. Now you see the invincibility is coming up. That, generally speaking, Chloe's invincibility is going to help with that quite a lot. Like, it should help quite a bit to survive the AoE, right? And then we can kind of clean up a bit. Like, you know, we've got this debuff on us. She still heals very well. But Chloe is a very strong healer, just in general. Alright, we're going to go off to the side here. Get out of the circle. But see how now we've got, like, these circles are all spread out, right? Generally speaking, it's just much better to have them stacked in one spot, and then you can stand either side of them so that you don't get hit, right? It's just much safer. for everyone involved. Oh, oh, hang on. Okay, yep, nope, that's not too fancy having that there. I probably should have moved to the middle much sooner, as soon as I said that. But I've literally, I think that was targeting me. I've literally just done the mistake I thought I was gonna make. But as you can see, Rising's gonna carry this anyway. But it's just more examples, right? More examples of things to kind of just be careful of, you know? Things to be aware of for this particular raid. Now, like I was saying, Chloe has the invincibility. Rakugen has a massive heal. Like absolutely massive heal. As long as your other units are alive, so you don't need to worry too much about that. Like he heals more than Chloe, put it that way. And Chloe does a pretty big nuke for her heal. Let's see, we're gonna do one more quick run if Bub will not yell at us. I'm gonna try one more before Bub gets too fussy. And we're gonna take in a Navel just to show the difference, right? We're gonna do all three, smash it out, see what we can do here. Oh, look at that. We're going in, boys and girls. We're getting that easy carry today. That's very nice, having Rising doing the runs here. But well, obviously both, you know, everyone involved is participating and performing well. Okay, it's not just one person. But now I like to, this initial one, I haven't been able to show it yet. I like to take this initial one and just leave it there in the back. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Off to the side, guys, off to the side. Now watch out, here comes the one on the left, dodge over. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Oh my god. Did you guys, Bastet, why are you like this, honestly? I don't understand why Bastet's like this. You guys saw a run back over there? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But yeah, look at the DPS now that I've got a Navel with the extra defense break, and I think they're both like we've got Helia, we've got the Wind Cat, right? So you can see the little Wind Cat there over on the right. I think that is an Orbia. Is it Rising's the Orbia? Yeah, so Rising is the... Yeah, so here, have a look at this. We got two Helias, we've got an Argon, we've got the Wind Cat, we've got we've got two Bastets for the attack buff. So Helia does the defense break and the branding. The Bastet does the attack buff and the shield. Obviously, Wooster has his own shield as well, plus the heals. A Navel cleanses and heals. And then Argon does damage based on the amount of debuffs on the enemy, and so does the Cat. Right, so the Wind Cat. So this is a really good example of the kind of units that you do kind of want to try and focus towards. It's like, but instead of saying, "Hey, build these specific units," try and build towards. Like you can see, I'm using Karambit. My DPS was about on par with Chosim's. I think no, they're gone now, so can't show anymore. But you know, it was about on par with Chosim's at the moment. Rising obviously is you know, he's 400k plus. He's pretty big PP runes at the moment on his units. But like I was saying, focus on things like attack up and defense break if you can. As far as like 3-star units go, there are units for that, of course. If you're an Orbia, you are the Helia, so that's great. Obviously, if you're a Kina, then you're the healer, right? And you can try and deck out. You know, you could bring an extra DPS. Right, you could bring 2 DPS because you are the healer, and then like a support in between, right? So obviously your DPS would hopefully have a defense break, its own personal attack up, or any other number of buffs and debuffs. But try and focus on bringing your attack up, defense buff, and defense break. Bring branding if you can, so you know, damage up, or in the Cat's case, the Wind Cat's case, crit damage up, right? I think it was. I think it's like crit damage up for itself. Let's have a quick look. Where are you? There you are. So Naomi here increases her own crit damage. Yes, thank you very much. So yeah, crit damage taken up for 16 seconds. So there's any number of units that you can bring to try and help buff the team's DPS in general. Like I was saying, the castle is a pure DPS check for the most part. As long as you've got something to keep yourself topped up and your DPS alive, you will be fine. But yeah, we'll cut it there before I get yelled at anymore by the little one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.